Hello everyone, my name is RagingRaptor, and in today's video I want to talk about the global map Thunderstorm event. We quickly go over it because it was revealed and it is sadly enough a shit show on itself. Now, usually summer campaigns don't really have a new tank. That's just how it is. Even though there are two tanks at the moment in the files which are potential candidates, the Object 780 and the 114 SP2, with the 114 SP2 being probably very much likely to be the reward in winter. Now, this campaign is going to go from July 26th throughout August 9th, so it's a 14-week long campaign. Go on, have fun, and waste your time. The thing is, it is going to be your typical 15 vs 15 tier 10 format. You will be able to gather fame points on 3 different map sections. We have the basic fronts, the advanced and the elite. On the basic, you get the least amount of fame points for you and your clan. On the advanced, you get 5 times as much points as on basic front for yourself, which is pretty nice. And on elite, you have also the 5 times multiplier as far as I know, as well as tank lock. Lastly, there are obviously going to be a laboratory or a way to spend your fame points you gather, where you can get, for example, boosters, so you gain more fame points, and after the campaign, where you can buy tanks, in theory, crew members, boosters, etc., etc., etc. And there will also be the experimental modules. Quickly about the experimental modules, they are a very bad idea. I know some people may say they are good for you as a bad player, or excuse me, not a bad player, as a worse clan to fight against good clans, you know, to try and level the playing field. The point is, though, for us as good clans, when we are fighting against good clans and suddenly they're coming with boosters, it's very frustrating. And that's the same thing which in a lower elo will happen as well. So in my opinion, having those boosters is just super annoying because it is just a crutch which makes same level gameplay impossible. Because usually the players or the team with more boosters, when they are equally skilled leveled, will win. Talking about equally skilled leveled, this is the bullshit we want to discuss. Carta Compartimento, VK, 121B, M60, both being able to get bought in the Bond shop, by the way, 907 and T95E6. There is no Chieftain. So, some people might argue it is good that there is no Chieftain because the Chieftain is horrendously overpowered. I do agree that the Chieftain is horrendously overpowered and should have been nerfed because the Chieftain meta, which is now for like 3 years, is completely fucking boring to play. Because it's basically just, well, cupola snipes over cupola snipes, or try to do a decent push with tanks which are basically as fast as many mediums. With the new turbocharger, which is also bullcrap, the Chieftain, for example, is able to go up to 55 kph with an almost 20 HP per ton ratio as a heavy tank. That is a better HP per ton ratio than a 907, to keep that in mind. So yeah, the Chieftain is an annoying piece of shit tank to fight against. It's annoying in randoms. It now suddenly got an increase in 400 damage on average for the third mark. After the update 1.13, go figure, because RD and HE was nerfed. So now Wargaming not giving out this tank in this Clanwars campaign is incredibly frustrating because, let's take again our hypothetical equally skilled teams. Both 1500 elo, or 1500 WN8 on average, 1500 elo is a little bit too much. One team has 5 Chieftains, the other team has no Chieftains. Sadly enough, you have a big, and I want to quote again, a big chance of losing, because Chieftains are this freaking strong. And there is a meme, which isn't a meme, to play Westfield 14 or 15 Chieftains. And sometimes, if you play this and you get lucky, you have more spawned upside. It is annoying, and it is even more frustrating when we are now looking at the official response from Wargaming about this topic. Guys, I can see some players quoting me out of context. Dwight, this is why I want to pick this right here, because you said that, that's the screenshot. I'm not taking you out of context for this one. So just to be clear again, for now the Chieftain will stay out of rotation, and we don't know when it will come back. There are no plans about tweaking its characteristics, but we are constantly looking into the situation surrounding it. Yeah, we understand your point and what are the clan requirements. Thank you for feedback. I will make sure it reaches the concerned teams. Okay, that is bullcrap. And for some people, you might already have seen the video from Marty Walle, the famous Czech CC. He is a competitive player. And I've talked around with a lot of competitive players. Ask them, do you think it would be a good idea to nerf the Chieftain? Or do you care if the Chieftain would be nerfed? And I've talked with several Fame members, and all of them said, I wouldn't care a bunch. It would be a good thing if the Chieftain would be nerfed. Either they didn't care, or they would say it is actually a good thing if the Chieftain would be nerfed. But sadly enough, Wargaming is deciding to not tweak its characteristics. And as you can see, roughly this is where update 1.13 hit. And now we are at 6,400 for the third mark, going from 6,080. So yeah, 400 increase in gun mark percentages. That is a lot, by the way. That is quite a bit, by the way. So yeah, now we have the issue that wargaming, or basically in competitive gaming, we want to have an equal playing field. That is why ELO exists. That is why competitive teams exist. We want to be on the same level. We want to play against equally skilled or higher skilled clans and win because we were better skilled or had better strategy. Not because they had better tanks. In theory, I didn't even need to do the video because in my clan, in Order Mortis, we have so many chieftains, it doesn't matter because most of us already have them. But the thing is, just because maybe 1 or 2% are happy with it how it is or don't care, doesn't matter, doesn't mean that 98% of the people should suffer. And that is the whole point. Wargaming deciding to not include the Chieftain and not nerfing it is a very, very bad idea. It is basically not only shooting themselves into their legs, they're also saying to new players, which for example started the game in 2018, are very good players, like they're all probably already in very high skilled clans. The problem is they have to suck a dick right now because they simply are not allowed to play in competitive teams properly. Sure, you could say they can play CS63, which is CV relevant. They could play EBR, which is CV relevant. They could play RD, which is CV. Well, CV is CW Clanwars relevant. It's just my German retardation. But at some point, you will be needing a Chieftain. And at some point, the more new players are coming, the less they have chieftains, the less they are even having the requirement to join a high skill clan, even though they have the required skill. Especially in such campaigns, it's just a death sentence to not have a chieftain, because chieftain is disproportionately important for competitive gaming, especially now with the Bond Turbo. I will be releasing soon a video comparing those different speeds in different key positions for Clan Wars, and it's stupid because positioning in Clan Wars is very important. The people in specific shootouts, when they have the best spawns, they will usually win. Because, for example, when I'm with my chieftain not able to hide my hole, but I'm able to shoot at some other chieftain's hole because I was there quicker, you guessed it, we already get an HP lead. So now, there are 2 or 3 main things Wargaming can do right now. Again, this campaign is going to start on the 26th. We do not have the rules yet. So it is very important for you as the viewer to write in the comment section below, and most importantly in the forum, to say, Wargaming, we need changes. It is important that we now as a community, as the high skill players as well as the low skill players, are standing up against Wargaming to tell them, no, we want to have this changed. Because let's have a little look at the Chieftain in general. And let's compare it to the Super Conqueror and the Chieftain Mark 6. The Chieftain Mark 6 is in the game file for ages, and it's a tank which I want to do a separate video on as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. But the point is, you might say the Chieftain is not really important or interesting, because look, it has worse DPM than the Super Conqueror. Hence why the Super Conqueror in defense or in campy setups is actually preferred because of the better DPM. So, yeah, that is, it has better gun handling, so why is the Chieftain OP? This 16.67 HP per turn ratio, 46 kph top speed, 15 kph in reverse. Pretty decent view range, actually more than a Super Conqueror, and the armor. This is a Chieftain versus its own APCR. As you can see, the upper front plate is auto bounce. You have a tiny little spot you can hit here. Good luck, it's a pixel hunting game. And do you see this? There. We had 1 pixel to hit a cupola. 1 pixel. Let's compare this to the Chieftain Mark 6, which has, by the way, worse penetration by 12 millimeters on its premium rounds. And do you notice something? Even though we are also using 10 degrees of gun depression, we have quite a big green spot right here, and we have this rather big cupola, which is 6 millimeters thick. And on a plain field, as you can see, can even kind of penetrate the turret. I would argue that being able to penetrate this with premium rounds might be a little bit too much. But come on. It's not even possible to basically try to pixel snipe this. Like, look at it. It's so small. Like, seriously, it's smaller than my wiener. You know? But just look at this. And this is the thing which I want to show you. Let's just really quickly reset and go back to around. This is right now live model with less penetration, and you can see we have almost a 100% hit penetration rate on this rooftop. I get that this is annoying, and I get that this could be balanced, or like that this could be buffed, you know. But this is just absurd. This small, teeny tiny cupola against this. The Chieftain Tier 10 Premium, the reward Chieftain, would be already a lot more balanced if Wargame would decide to give it this cupola. It doesn't need to be 60 millimeters thick by no means. I don't think that this is a good idea. Give it 120 millimeters, but not 60, so it can't be penetrated by HE or HESH. But at least make it big, because seriously, what is this? What is this? That's the point. The Chieftain basically is great in every single aspect which is important to the game. It's mobility, good gun, good speed, good view range, and amazing armor. Yes, the hull is not that nice if you are on a flat surface, but does it matter? Does it really matter when it just can go hull down on every single corner of the map? Because there are always hull down positions? No, it doesn't. It literally doesn't. So yeah, point 1, Wargaming, just freaking nerf the Chieftain. Seriously. There are no plans about tweaking its characteristics is a dumb statement. There should be always, when something is overpowered, it always needs to be adjusted. That is for the 279, that is for the Chieftain, that is for whatever tank it is. Like, for example, if Wargaming would overbuff the Foch 155, because right now I'm playing it as dog shit, and it would be way too overpowered, then nerf it again, it doesn't matter. If the T22 would have been buffed again, for example, the gun mantle would be a lot stronger all of a sudden, which is a very big weak spot of the tank, and it would be overpowered, Wargaming should reconsider the buff and maybe nerf it again. That's the thing, but at the moment, we see so many little nerfs, or rare nerfs rather, and if there are nerfs, they are not really that potent, you know? Let's look at the 430U. Why nerf the gun handling and barely touch the cupolas when Wargame could have just said, you know what? One cupola, super weak, the other cupola, semi-strong, you know? But no, we now have 2 semi-strong cupolas. It's a bad way of balancing Wargaming, okay? But yeah, we have to look at the characteristics of this vehicle, you know? Let's look at the EU service statistics, and whoopsie daisy, it is the tank with the second highest damage per game on average. 2,890 on tier 10. Even the Garda Compartimento 45, which is being played by a lot of high-skill players, as you can see, only 5,700 out there, has a lower DPG. And speaking about the Caro, I think the Caro is a great example on how to make a Clanwars reward vehicle. I see some people saying it is overpowered because probably they just got outplayed by a very good player. But the thing is, it has very bad gun handling. The fact that it has to shoot APCR is a little bit stupid, so But the burst is trash. The armor is semi-good. That was my team speak. So, yeah. And the DPM is not really that good. About the 279 early, I think nerfing the DPM would also be very important. And the same goes for the Chieftain. Like, give the Chieftain a bigger cupola, nerf either its mobility or DPM, period. The tank needs a weak spot. But yeah, that is point 1, how to balance this game. How could we do it differently? As we already mentioned, we have these 3 spaces on the Clanwars map. Basic, Advanced, and Elite. Those are the two zones in Clan Wars. Wargaming could decide to say that on the basic front, as a bare minimum, only Tech Tree tanks are allowed. That is idea 1.5. Idea 2 would be to completely remove every single reward vehicle from the Clan Wars event, which would be my preferred choice. Why? Once again, it levels the playing field. Competitiveness will still not be there because some people have just a lot better crews, have bounty equipment, bond equipment, especially bond equipment in their Tech Tree tanks, so they have a small edge above other people. And then we have the boosters, those those experimental modules. Yeah, but the thing is, Tech Tree versus Tech Tree will make such a big difference already, and it would make the game more interesting. When I've talked to Switman, the organizer of some of the 7v7 tournaments or other tournaments, and he's looking quite into it because he's a competitive player and really likes competitiveness in World of Tanks, he really noticed that people enjoy competitive games without reward vehicles and without EBRs a lot more. A lot more. We might say that the EBR got nerfed, so maybe it's not that potent anymore for Clan Wars. Most likely people will gravitate towards Manticores. Again, it already has been used, but I think the Manticore will have a bigger impact this Clan Wars campaign than the previous one with the nerfs of the EBR. But, point is, removing every single reward vehicle would level the playing field and not only would shut up people which say they only lose because of reward vehicles when they're playing against a lot stronger clans, but it would also give the people the mindset of, yo, they don't have reward vehicles, now we have to win because of superior tactics and superior skill. And this would make competitiveness just a lot more interesting. Because, let's be honest, how much fun is it when you have, again, two equally skilled clans, literally all skilled equally, on average 1,500 WN8, 2,000 WN8, and you lose because the enemy has 5 chieftains and you don't. That's just frustrating. And I know we could make this bigger with the 907, but the 907 is not that dominant in its category as is the chieftain in its category. You know, the 907 is strong. Don't get me wrong. The 140 might still is a very good substitute. So is the 121B, what we've looked at so far. And don't forget, in many situations, people actually prefer using the CS63. CS63 being pushed into competitiveness quite a little bit lately because it is so much faster and it can get into key positions a lot quicker. As already mentioned before, getting into key positions on mines, on Westfield, etc. is super important. But yeah, if Wargaming would ban every reward vehicle, we would have once again the same ordeal like we had in Ranked. We would see a lot more Karan-wagons, we will see a lot more Super Conquerors, we might even see a lot more push-heavy setups with Object 268 version 4s, 277s, WZ5As, etc. But at least everybody can grind those tanks out in the remaining 11 days? Until the Clan Wars campaign? Yeah, 11 days. But yeah, we have to make our voice heard. Seriously, guys, go to the forums and leave your feedback. And please don't go out there, and this is just a hypothetical example, I don't mean it that way. Don't go out there and write, Wargaming, you piece of shit company, why are you such a piece of shit, why you do this? Don't do this, it's a hypothetical example, don't do this. There's no point in insulting the company. There's no point in that. Because then, what you're doing is basically, your feedback goes in here, goes out here, and they don't give a shit. Okay? What you have to write is something in the lines of Wargaming, please consider either reworking the Chieftain or giving it again this campaign so people can catch up. Or even better, just ban reward vehicles completely from competitive gaming. It already worked with Ranked and made Ranked a lot more enjoyable and fair for everybody. But please consider doing this. Again, we don't know the rules yet. We still have a chance to push this in. And it's very important. And I think I once again have to talk about this with the product development manager, a PDM for competitive gaming, that I think at the end we as the EU server have to just stand up. I don't know if it's an RU problem. It might be that just the Russian server is so, how should we say, fixated on their chieftains. Who knows? They don't want it to get nerfed because they think, yeah, they worked hard for it. That was one of the arguments anyway in a Q&A, which I said, yeah, they don't want to piss off people which put in a lot of hours and time and money to get those tanks. By the way, boosting services, bullshit. But the thing is, the big thing is, when the majority of the EU and even NA clans say, or the players say, that they don't want those vehicles or they want them to be changed, it would be high noon for Wargaming to consider maybe, just a big fat maybe, starting to branch out the different servers, you know? It might be tough for people which are playing on both servers, but the thing is, if the EU server has a different mindset than the RU server, it might be better to have two separate teams focusing once on EU and one on RU only. I don't know, but again, I don't understand, what's it called? I don't understand game design. That's what has been told me. But I see it as a player and I see it as a competitive side. So yeah, this was my little bit of a rant. Again, don't forget to go to the discussion forum. Don't insult the company. Just tell them why you think that there need to be changes for the Chieftain. And yes. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for this long video. I see you around. Again, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment to help me out with the algorithms. We are almost at 12,000 subs, which is amazeballs. So yeah, cheers and good luck on the battlefield.